Hello and welcome to Clary Anderson Arena. Here we are to watch MKA Cougars take on the Livingston Lancers in hockey. Livingston coming off a strong week, starting off 2-0 against Governor Livingston and whoever they played yesterday.
Which was Cranford.
Cranford.
They won 10-2, beat Governor Livingston 3-2 on a third period goal late. Then came out strong and hot against Cranford. A 60-minute effort, 10-2 was the final. Cougars still undefeated on the season, 5-0-1, looking to go 3-0 this week. And they got to play back-to-back games and back-to-back days, but thankfully for them, against a Livingston team that hasn't won all season.
Absolutely, Corey. We're very excited to see what they do here against Livingston. As we go to see the face-off for the Lancers, it will be Matt McCaw. Brian Schindler to take the face-off. He won it for the Cougars. Puck gets knocked up into the air, back. The Cougars defenseman on it. Sends it, wraps it around the board. Brian Schindler with it, passes it. Trying to send it back around, but we hear a whistle. One of the newer developments in sports this age. Can't go less than 3 minutes without hearing a whistle.
Well, it certainly is very true, but it's also because we have a Livingston penalty. That's why we didn't get our we got our whistle just 35 seconds in. Nat McLaughlin, who took the opening faceoff for the Lancers, goes to the box, and the Cougars in the opening minute get a power play. Scored 10 goals yesterday, looking to score early and often today. Call was a hook on McLaughlin, by the way.
Trying to get it into Brian Schindler, one of their top goal scorers throughout the season and his entire career. There's a shot saved by the goalie, straight down the middle and low. As we see Alexander Stekovich looking to make some noise here in the middle. But first, we got to go to the face-off where Brian Schindler wins again, his third win of the night. Again getting into Brian Schindler. He sends it back into the middle for a shot that is good. Goal, Cougars. A great goal. An excellent goal by David Chen, the new Alexandros Gaffney for the MKA Cougars.
Yeah, Chen Gaffney 2.0, though many players in the team would disagree with me. Only a sophomore is Chen, a Livingston native nonetheless, but earns his 12th goal on the season in just 7 games. His 23 points lead the team.
As Brian Schindler takes the next face-off, this time he loses. So the Cougars already have 1 goal on this power play. Let's see if they can switch back to offense, get another one. As we see a nice hit against the boards. Stekovich trying to get it, muscling the man around. Sends it down court. Stekovich with it, trying to wrap it around. Matthew McCann with it, back. As we see Brian Schindler trying to get in for a goal.
Well, you saw Schindler with great speed, just going around the net and through the crease. Lays a hit down.
Check, as he seems to be down.
Yeah, Jason Schneiderman's down in his own zone.
Ethan Ottner skating for it. He sends it around the other side to Oscar Warub. Schindler with another nice check. However, Livingston scores on a power play against them. As the Cougars, you just can't allow that. especially when you have a power play in your favor.
Well, the power play had expired already, but nonetheless, Michael Mumm, the goal for Livingston, the sophomore, puts it down. So the Cougars score at 1:03 of the period, and Livingston comes right back just a minute and 20 or so seconds later. And both number 6s have now scored. Chen for the Cougars and Mumm for the Lancers.
And a beautiful play by David Chen for his second goal of the night. He got way out in front. He paused, let the goalie leave the goal, go for the puck. He pulled it back, and then he shot it into the back left corner of the goal. A beautiful play, got directly behind the defenseman. That is textbook.
So we talked about Chen, had 3 points, including a goal when he played Livingston to open the season. Had 5 points yesterday, 4 assists and a goal. Now has 2 goals in 2 minutes and 39 seconds. And the Cougars, just 11 seconds after surrendering the game-tying goal to the Lancers, come right back. Who else but David Chen?
As we see Oscar Warup win his 4th face-off of the night. Alan DiGeronimo on the defense.
We get another penalty here.
We get a substitution now.
That call's going to go against the Cougars. Benji Pike for the freshman, the impressive freshman going to the box for the Cougars. As they 5 goals on the year.
They're bringing back in Ethan Ottner, Matthew McCann. So we see Ethan Ottner with the face-off this time. He loses. Pass back. Ethan Ottner goes down. Shot on goal. And it's stopped by their excellent goalie, Sebastian Burns, who has an 89% save record, save rating.
Sebastian Burns undefeated to start the season. The Cougars at 5-0-1. Burns only a sophomore, just his first year in goal, and the only goalie on the Cougars team. Hope he doesn't get injured.
As they score a second goal on Burns here tonight. The Lancers matching the Cougars' David Chen step for step. David Chen with both of the Cougars' goals.
You know, Austin Vecchio gets that goal, number 8 for the Lancers. So we've got 4 goals, 2 of them on the power play, and we played 3 minutes and 26 seconds in just the first period.
Oscar Warup loses a third face-off of the night. He's 4 for 3 so far. As we see a third. I'm not sure, they haven't officially called it yet. That is a third goal for the Lancers tonight. Sebastian Burns just got beat on the inside. They wrapped it around the back, and there was a man waiting. Classic play.
As if anyone thought the scoring was done. That's 5 goals in 3:37, and we immediately have a Cougar timeout. So there's been 0 goaltending in this game. There's probably been more goals than saves.
And 0 defense in this game.
No, 0 defense. Everyone's just walking right in on net. And the goalies aren't stopping anything. It's been 3:37, and we already have 5 goals. And who would have thought? And by the way, the Lancers, in their first 4 games of the season, they're 0-4, scored a total of 2 goals. They have scored 3 goals today against an undefeated Cougar team in 3 minutes and 37 seconds.
I do believe that it is not Sebastian Burns' goal tonight.
No,
thus far, at least.
It has not been the good side of Sebastian Burns. He's played very well. The Cougars haven't allowed too many goals. Only allowed 2 yesterday, and no more than 5 in any game this season. So, and you could also say the same about Livingston in goal. Yeah, Sebastian Burns, only a sophomore though, but relatively inexperienced, his first year behind the cage. But nonetheless, against a team that's only scored 2 goals all season, they're certainly not looking like a team that is 0-4 on the year against a 5-0-1 team.
Oscar Warup loses the 4th face-off of the night. He's even. Getting it to Brian Schindler, who passes it to Warub down the right side. Warub gets slammed against the boards, fighting for the puck. Schindler trying to get it out. He does get it out to David Chen with the third shot. This is his first shot on goal that has been missed.
Well, he didn't miss it, he just didn't score.
So we see another shot. The Cougars clearly pushing. Offensive, offensive, offensive. So we see a pass to Schindler. Schindler trying to get it into Warub, who is inside at his man beat. David Chen out to Warub. Shooting and a goal. Another goal. A beautiful goal by Benji Pfeiffer, who's a freshman.
No, David Chen tipped that puck. He had the stick about chest high. He tipped that puck. And David Chen has a hat trick in 4.5 minutes. Are you kidding me?
David Chen really is the new Alexandros Gaffney.
Gaffney would never have done that. David Chen is Gaffney 2.0.
Is Gaffney 2.0.
3 goals in 4 minutes and 30 seconds for David Chen. I doubt that's the fastest hat trick in MKA hockey history, considering how long they've been playing this sport, but that's got to be the fastest hat trick of the millennium.
Ethan Ottner pulling the puck out of from against the boards. As he gets the puck upfield, Ethan Ottner slammed hard. Stekovic fighting for the puck.
We got a penalty here against Livingston. I think it's going to be Livingston's Foley that goes off, number 2 in black. So the Cougars have struck on a power play. Both teams have. David Chen opened the scoring with a power play goal just 1 minute and 3 seconds in. So Foley goes to the box for Livingston, and the Cougars to their second power play, in which they're 1 for 1.
The Cougars really have a chance to press their advantage here with Warub taking it. Let's see if he can go 5 for 4 here on face-offs. As he does go 5 for 4, he gets it out, passing it. Schindler with the shot. It's saved by the goal, caught in his glove.
Well, that's the greatest save we've seen so far today.
I believe that's the only save that we've seen today.
We've seen a few. See if the Cougars try their tip drill again. On that third goal by Chen, for the last minute or so prior to that goal, they had kept trying tip drills with Schindler and Chen in front of the net, with guys like Warub and Pfeiffer taking shots. See if they try it here.
As Warub wins another face-off.
But they tried it again with Warub in front, couldn't get a stick on it. The shot went wide anyway. It's been a long time without scoring. It's been a whole minute.
Warub with it, passing it to Schindler. Schindler, who had 4 goals last game. Oscar comboing for the 5th, looking to get a goal in here at some point to combo with the hat trick. Had a chance there, missed it.
Nice
play.
Nice
save. Beautiful play by Pfeiffer. Schindler backing off. A beautiful play by Warub, knocking the man down and getting the puck as he goes and gets it here. Warub shoots a little high. Another shot. It's knocked off course. Cougars trying to tip drill again. David Chen not able to muscle it out. David Chen with it directly behind the goal. He gets it to Stekovic. He can't get it in. The goalie loses his goal. His stick.
Oh, we got a penalty against Livingston here. Fuhrman goes to the box, so the Cougars will have another penalty here. It'll be a 5-on-3 for about 16 seconds, and then another minute 44 of power play time after that. So Foley's penalty almost expired. Now Fuhrman goes to the box for a slash, and Livingston can't stay out of the penalty box right now. They've had plenty of chances, the Cougars.
And the Cougars really have to push it with another great face-off, hopefully by Warub.
He's the main face-off guy, and he wins this one.
As he wins it again. He's 7 for 4. A shot by Schindler. It's off. Just trying to get the puck out of their territory as they're currently playing 5-on-3.
Yeah, Schindler's got a rocket of a shot. You know, you try to go for tips on those pucks. Hard to get the stick up in time when Schindler's just rocketing a shot like that.
And Worup go 8 for 4, and he does. The Cougars have 2 seconds left on the power play. As they get another shot off, it's caught by the goalie. So their first power play, or their second rather, is over. Now they have the third still remaining for another minute 40. The Cougars will have to continue to push it up the ice. As we see Ethan Ottner come in for his second face-off of the night. He lost his first, seeing if he can make a rebound here.
Ottner spent much of his early part of his career injured on the sidelines. Great to see him back for his senior season as Livingston's Max Solomon gets sent to the bench. Going to have to get a fourth player on. It won't be Solomon. It'll be Michael Mumm, the goal scorer for the Lancers, as McLaughlin goes to take the draw.
Ottner unable to come away with that one. Ottner with it. Ottner definitely one of the leaders for the Cougars this year. They'll depend heavily on him as they get it to DiGeronimo. DiGeronimo working, trying to get it inside. As he has a shot there, he's unable to come away with it. The older DiGeronimo on this team, as there are 2 of them. And another goal that will be called off.
No goal, they blew it off.
I do believe that would be Robbie DiGeronimo's first goal of the season if they had not called that off.
Yeah, and look who's getting set to the penalty box here. Or there might be a penalty. We'll see what's called. Well, there is no penalty. They actually bring the puck out to the neutral zone. So perhaps they called the play offside. That I believe was the call. Either offside or a hand pass.
Schindler going to get it from the goalie.
Yeah, that would have been Robbie DiGeronimo's first goal of the year as he tipped the puck in, but Cougars still have a minute left on this power play.
Ottner trying to go down the middle. He gets caught in the middle of some people. Turns it over. Schindler with it. Great defense. Really the only Cougar that got back on D there. As we see Worup slam man against the boards. Chen getting it out and getting hit hard. The Lancers clearly not happy that he already has a hat trick. DiGeronimo with an acrobatic shot that does not go in. It's blocked right through Chen's legs. Schindler passing it to Chen. Chen has a shot. He misses. Wide right. As the Lancers just hit it away. The goalie has it. He plans to hand it off to Matthew McCann as they both teams make some substitutions. The Cougars losing the puck there. Danny D'Angelo is the one who lost it as he's still fighting for it. Ottner comes in, gets it. He shoots. Ottner trying to wrap around. He cannot. Sending it back around the other side of the boards. The Cougars still have it. As we see a shot that's in. A beautiful shot. A beautiful goal that's scored by the Cougars, Benji Pfeiffer. That is his second goal on the season. I thought it was 13 that scored that. Was it? 12? Oh, my bad.
Well, it's about time we see some goals.
The Cougars now lead 4-3 as we head to the next face-off.
Hadn't had a goal in almost 5 minutes, so I was getting worried.
We're starting to see some defense there, Corey.
It's still a 7-goal first period that's still got 5:35 left on the clock.
So not much defense after all. As the Cougars trying to get it. Oh. And number 16 goes down pretty hard.
And Michael Bronstein turned his back
down
on another
again.
hit. And he's just turning his back to the defenseman An easy hit there for Dylan Foley. Nice shot by Benji, able to get it in.
So you see a shot off the goal. DiGeronimo with it, one of their larger kids. Definitely would like to see him get inside and muscle some people. As Ottner comes back in.
This has been an unexpectedly high-scoring first period, but not in the sense that I thought. You would think it'd be the Cougars coming out scoring perhaps 3 or 4 goals in the first period against a weak Lancers team, but Livingston holding their own with 3. They've had a lead in this game. Both teams have led. A David Chen hat-trick, though, is certainly not unexpected, but a hat-trick in 1 period, let alone 4.5 minutes, as we get both officials talking with head coach Tim Cook, and they'll disperse and get play moving again for the final 4:36 of the period.
As Ethan Ottner with it, he wins the face-off. He's streaming down the right side. He sends it across the boards. Ottner trying to get it back now. Trying to get it into the middle to Stekovic. He's fighting for it. As the Lancers are able to push the puck up the ice. Now, I gotta say, Corey, I would really like to see, as we see a 4th goal scored here by the Lancers. A beautiful down the left side. Nice little inside of the goalie, inside his left foot.
And it's Mumm again. That's 2 goals for Michael Mumm.
Now, Corey, I gotta say, I'd really like to see Stekovic be able to muscle the puck out there because he is just bigger than some of these other kids he's against.
Certainly is. You got guys like Gaffney last year who certainly could lay hits. Oscar Warov this year is not the biggest guy either, but you have a guy with size like Stekovic. You got to get some bulk. You got to be able to use that size, not just as a finesse player.
With it. Sends it around to Schindler. Schindler getting slowed up.
Got to wonder how much confidence this will give Livingston here, scoring 4 goals, not just in a game, but in a first period, and playing tough against an MKA team that hasn't lost a game all year. Certainly a confidence boost you need. Early in the season, they've only played 4 games, still looking for their first win.
Ottner winning his 3rd face-off of the night. Speaking of Ottner, I do believe that Ottner has yet to score on the season.
Ottner has no goals on the year, but 5 assists.
He is definitely a player who will be looking to score today and in the future games. One of their more heavy offensive role players. Stekovic looked like he was gunning for somebody there. Passed it away too quickly, though. So we see DiGeronimo with it. Trying to get it to DiGeronimo. See some pushing. Coach Cook makes a sub. As Ottner slams him against the boards. Cougar, puck is sent up the ice. Cougars now really playing very good defense. Schindler looking to score there.
Yeah, they would have had an odd man rush 2-on-1 if Cougars hadn't been offside at the front of the play.
It seems like Coach Cook has definitely started to stress the importance of defense and how good defense will lead to good offense.
Yeah, and yet they've allowed 4 goals in the first period. Granted, they've matched Livingston step for step. Defense, I think this game will slow down in the second. It won't be a 12-12 game, 4 goals in every period for every team. It'll slow down.
Although that would be interesting.
I'm not saying I'd be opposed, but I know the coaches would be opposed to that
The
because
definitely would be opposed.
you allow 12 goals, and I mean, granted, if you score as many, you can still win, but you can't allow 12.
As we see David Chen trying to get another goal, he can't.
He had that puck on a
beautiful
string.
stick work.
He's able to keep the puck on his stick and close to his stick and still get a shot away, splitting defenders.
As we see Warup slam a man into his own seat. The Cougars losing the puck. David Chen working to get it back. Schindler with it. Chen, beautiful stick work, opens a free area. Wasn't able to get a shot off, but that was beautiful.
He wanted to get it to Ethan Ottner there, but Livingston closed up the passing lane.
As we see a shot deflected by the Lancers. Ottner rather, getting slammed against the board. Trying to get it into Ottner again. They're unable to this time.
We get a cross-checking penalty here on Livingston, so back to the power play the Cougars will go.
The Cougars, this is their 4th power play of the night.
And they've scored on one of their power plays. Had a 5-on-3 earlier in the game for some time, and overall a 3 3/4 minute stretch of man advantage time. They couldn't score on the last opportunity. They don't score in the last 49 seconds of this period. They'll go into the locker room and out for the second period with a brief power play. Jacob Fuhrman called for the penalty, the senior. Cross-check.
Warup wins another face-off. As we see a shot here, the Cougars clearly pushing offense. As the Lancers just trying to get it out and away. The Cougars with 26 seconds left will try and push it up at the ice again. However, they turn it over to the Lancers, who now try and make a push of their own. With 15 seconds left, Schindler trying to make one final push for the Cougars. Going down the right side, gets slammed against the boards. Stekovich with it as he gets pounded. Warup with it. 1, and that is time. This will be a tie going into the second period. Not much defense. However, towards the end of the first, the Cougars were at least practicing slightly good defense, promoting good offense.
Yeah, there were 8 goals in the period, but 6 of them were scored in the first 4.5 minutes, and only 2 in the last 10.5. So defense certainly being played, granted to a limited level, though it picked up. Cougars will have a $120 of power play time heading out of the locker room, and seeing as they gave up the last goal to the Lancers and have been just 1 for 3 on the power play, be a great chance to swing momentum back in their favor and take a lead out of the first period locker room.
It'll be very interesting to see what the Cougars do defensively, as they have not let up more than 5 goals in a single game this season, currently having let up 4 in the first.
It certainly will be, and you said it, 5 goals, the most MK's given up this season. The most they've given up in a win is 4, and they won that game 11-4 against Scotch Plains Fanwood earlier in the season. Meanwhile, Livingston, they've scored no more than 1 goal in a game. They've been shut out twice. They've only scored 2 goals all season coming into today. They've doubled that in just the first period. And this will be a short break here, just a 4-minute break out of 5 remaining, because they're not going to clean the ice after the first period. So we'll see if the Cougars, or rather the Lancers, being shorthanded, have legs that aren't really fresh. And they're going to have to try to get some rest up, because the Cougars have a power play for 1:20 coming out of the break.
And I would like to mention that the game that they allowed 5 goals was a tie to not Scotch Plains. It was a tie to Westfield. That was not at home. After this, though, they do have a 3-game home stretch all a few weeks from now, so they definitely have some time to prepare, work on that defense a little bit more. But offensively, they seem great. David Chen, incredible. Definitely looks like Gaffney. He might, Gaffney might be David Chen 1.0.
Yeah.
At this point.
The prequel to David Chen. Well, the Cougars certainly are going to go on the road for some time. This is their last game before winter break begins next week. And coming out, they've got Governor Livingston, a team that the Cougars played close on the road. They won 3-2 back on Monday. Then a big game against Summit. Summit, probably the best team in the IHL McGinnis division, followed by Howell, a team that the Cougars don't really play all that much. So they're all going to be at home, all here at Clary, coming out of the holiday break, Christmas break. January 9th is the first game following today, and we'll try to have some of those games for you here on MKA TV. We'll try.
Yes, we will.
Well, speaking of MKA TV, you've got a show later tonight.
Yes, we do. We will be broadcasting the basketball game live at 7. It is against Irvington. The MK basketball team will look to take on Irvington. We'll see how they do. High expectations for both teams. It'll be very interesting.
And that game coming up at about 7 o'clock. Granted, if we keep the goal scoring up, that was a pretty long first period. We might miss part of the first quarter of that game. I won't be going there, but you will. So hopefully that all goes well up at the upper school gym, about 5 minutes away from Clary. So we'll take a break here. We'll be back in a couple of minutes on MKA TV.
Absolutely. As we return here for the start of the second, Oscar Warup, see if he can get his, I believe, 7th successful faceoff. So the official gets ready to drop the puck. And Warup does win it. Getting it to Schindler. Definitely not pushing it up as quickly. Cougars goalie with a nice save. Schindler playing a little more relaxed, not pushing it as hard.
We got a minute left on the power play here coming out of the 5-minute break, the abbreviated intermission.
See if the Cougars try and run something. The Lancers just sending it to the other end of the ice. 45 seconds left on that power play. And here they are trying to set something up. They get it in Stekovic, sends it back out. As we see a shot, it's no good. Stekovic with the shot. Nearly missed, as in it was blocked by the goal. Schindler with the shot. It's blocked by the defender. Trying to get the puck to Schindler. It's sent to the other side. Schindler with it. Now he's pushing. Power play is over. So it's an interesting choice, but nonetheless, the Lancers have it as they send it deep again. Schindler with it. Schindler really running the floor here for the Cougars. Warub able to bat the puck down. He's open. He's got a shot. And him versus the goalie, he is unable to connect. That was a beautiful chance for Warub. Just unable, having a goal last week. Does not have one there.
Yeah, Warub on a breakaway. I thought Livingston was able to catch him with Jason Schneiderman on his tail. But Warub's got plenty of speed, was able to get through, and shot stopped by the pad.
The Cougars really being a little more patient offensively, not pushing it, not shooting as often. Not quite as exciting, but I'm not opposed to it either. As they get another shot off there. The Lancers have it, trying to push. He falls down. He gets the puck again, skating through 3 Cougar defenders. As we see a beautiful check. David Chen gets knocked down. He's still able to make the pass, however.
That's a tripping penalty delayed here against Livingston. So the Cougars are 1 for 4 on the power play. Had a chance to open up the second period with the remaining time of a penalty carried over. So as Max Solomon, 16 in black, goes back to the box off that trip there of Chen as he turned up ice. Cougars now looking for the second power play goal. Their first goal of the game, a David Chen goal in the first minute 3, came on the power play. Have had 3 chances since, have come up empty.
As Warub choking up on his stick. He wins that one too. So whatever he's doing it correctly. Just swinging it around the outside right now, looking for an open shot. As they do shoot. Another shot. Trying to get it to DiGeronimo in the middle. And Schindler with the score. A beautiful score by Schindler. Brian Schindler with another goal this week. He had 4 last game, I repeat, 4. Beating David Chen's hat trick today, I might add.
At least for the moment.
At least for the moment. David Chen still has a period and 11 minutes left.
So that's 2 power play goals for the Cougars, and Schindler finds the back of the net for the first time. He's been taking the majority of the shots. Chen has many early chances and found the back of the net on more of his shots, but Schindler's been taking them, and he finally gets rewarded here. And for Brian, he's second on the team in scoring, his 10th goal of the year. And had 2 goals when the Cougars and Lancers first met up at South Mountain back in November.
Ottner trying to get the puck here. Getting caught up off a bunch of Cougar skates. Trying to get it to Ottner deep. He can't. Instead, DiGeronimo is able to get to it. He goes up. DiGeronimo, another one of these players that as a younger player was sidelined by injury, but it's very nice to see him back for his senior year.
He's a big presence too, Alan DiGeronimo. Certainly enjoyed seeing him a couple of years ago, my senior year of high school.
As DiGeronimo there knocks it away. As the Cougars make some substitutions, another player to watch out for, I might add, is Robbie DiGeronimo, who is not currently on, but is the younger brother of Allen. He was the one who had the goal that was called off earlier. Warub trying to get a shot in. as we see Schindler. The Lancers now pushing it. They shoot. A beautiful save by Sebastian. The Cougars need to clear it. They are able to. They have Warab in the middle. They do get it to him. However, he loses the puck. We see a shot there that is no good by David Chen, his 5th shot of the night. As the goalie finally gets on top of this after what was about 4 shots.
They had a couple of shots by Oscar Warab there. Warab took a shot from close in near the circle and got his own rebound. Lancers able to hold strong and stop them both.
As we see Ethan Ottner getting ready to take another face-off. He's done pretty well tonight. Ottner is able to win that one decisively. A great job just boxing out the defender. DiGeronimo here on the defense. He's able to knock the puck away. Ottner gets it, sending it back around. As we see Ottner running the floor, he's got the middle, trying to get it to Stekovic. He can't. And we see Ethan Ottner assisting on the score. A beautiful play.
Yeah, that might be DiGeronimo.
That was Robbie. That was Robbie DiGeronimo. So Ethan Ottner with another assist.
Yeah, so we saw Robbie earlier in the game in the first period get denied a goal because a play was whistled dead. Now he finally comes through for his first goal.
Oscar to take another, Warab to take another face-off. He wins it. DiGeronimo, the other DiGeronimo, pulls it away. As Alan DiGeronimo wrecks some man at center court. The Cougars trying to run the floor. They have a man in the middle. He pushes it out to Schindler on the left side. However, they blow it dead. Schindler had a really nice opening there. Would love to have seen what he did with it. However, we will not. The Cougars and the Lancers, both two teams with not a ton of depth. The Cougars only have 11 players to draw from, and the Lancers only having 12. Tonight, I'd say about 8 of those players have played. Maybe 7. So it's very interesting. So the Lancers make a substitution here. DiGeronimo going down the right side. Ottner with it down the left side. He passes it. It's wide. Danny D'Angelo was not able to get to that. Then he was. Brian Schindler with it, trying to center it. The Cougars currently leading 6-2. The Cougars really putting more of an effort on defense this period. Very nice to see. However, the Lancers haven't done the same, and the Cougars have scored another 2 this period.
And Livingston with no goals here in the second period after 4 in the first. That's 6 minutes and 20 seconds left here.
The Lancers trying to do it all on his own. He's unable to. As we see a little push here by the sophomore.
Yeah, Cougars just clearing the crease. That's the responsibility of the defenseman in front of Sebastian Byrne. Just clear the crease. Austin Vecchio trying to get in on Burns. Vecchio has a goal today.
Vecchio trying to do it all on his own there, weaving through about 4 Cougars, trying to get the goal. DiGeronimo sends it around the other side. As we see Warub going down their left side, off the backboard. Lost the puck there.
Got another penalty here. This time is against Cole Privateer for the Cougars.
Cole Privateer, a senior, hasn't contributed that much this game yet.
He has no points on the season.
However, it's very nice to have him at least as depth, to say the least. Purely due to the fact that there's such a short lineup for the Cougars here.
Yeah, neither team's lineup is big, but it's enough.
DiGeronimo is able to get it out off the face of a Lancer. Off Allen. As Schindler has it, he sends it out. We see the Cougars again get it out. Warub with what might constitute a slash. As Schindler is able to knock the puck out of the air.
Decent defense so far by the Cougars on this power play. Just 55 seconds left on it. They've cleared the zone once. And Livingston, despite being able to set up their offense briefly, Cougars have pressured the puck.
The Lancers with 55 seconds left on this power play of theirs. The Cougars just trying to get the puck out. As they wrap it around the edge. Warub on the defense and a nice save by Sebastian. Sebastian Burns really starting to play like the player we've seen throughout this year as opposed to what he played as in the first period, letting up 4 goals.
And Furman on that shot just had space, walked up from the point to the high slot, took one straight on. Thankfully for Burns, it was right into his chest. He just had to seal it up.
The Cougars get it out of there. With 25 seconds left, the Cougars just full-on defense, full-on prevent. Oscar Wara with the puck. The Lancers knock it down as the power play is now over. So we see the Cougars now start to push it. Schindler with a shot directly into the goalie.
I'll tell you what, Schindler has, I said it earlier in the first period, Schindler has a rocket of a shot. I mean, that was, a relatively easy save for any other goalie on any other shooter, because that was a low shot that could easily be stopped by the pads. But for Schindler, it's just a hard shot. So much speed and velocity on it that for any goalie, it's got to react even quicker than a normal high school player.
Ottner weaving around, gets a shot off. It's caught. Ottner going for his first goal of the season still. 6 assists, though.
We've seen a fair share of Ethan Ottner. There's a couple of points on the helping end so far today.
David Chen's been pretty quiet since the first.
He has. All 3 of his goals came in the first 4.5 minutes of the first period. Cougars have scored 3 goals by 3 other players since then, sharing the wealth a little bit. It has been slowing down, too. 8 goals in the first period. Only 2 so far in the first 12 minutes of period number 2.
You see another shot. Another shot. The goalie just knocks that one away. The Lancers have a man in the middle. The Cougars see it and they are able to get a turnover. Stekovic trying to center it. He can't. The Lancers are able to get it. Ottner with a nice hit to prevent a pass. So what turned out to be a bad turnover. A beautiful shot by Stekovic from quite far out, I might add.
I don't think that should have gone in,
that
considering the stuff that
should not have
has
gone
been
in.
stopped in this period. Stekovic finds the back of the net.
The Lancer goalie clearly upset with himself, as frankly he rightfully should be. That was a shot from about the blue line, I'd say, and it went in. Yeah, that's about all you could say about that one.
He took it from just inside the blue line, and Stekovic, who isn't exactly going to light up the score sheet, just his 5th goal of the year now, 8 points on the season for Steck, having his most successful and productive offensive season as a senior. He's sort of second fiddle to the Schindlers and the Warobs on his senior class.
And even the Chens, which are the younger, newer generation.
You mean Gaffney 2.0?
Gaffney 2.0, yes.
Nice to see Stekovic finding the back of the net.
Absolutely.
We've got a penalty here against Livingston.
That giving the Cougars a 7-4 lead. The Cougars might be able to match their 4-goal special that they had in the first period with a minute 53 left.
They have to do it late.
The Lancers, however, still only with 4 goals have been held to nothing this period. Coach Cook doing an excellent job defensively.
Yeah, so for Livingston, rather for the Cougars, you've got 2 minutes of power play time and only 2 minutes left in the period, or just under 2 left in the period. So you've got a power play essentially until the buzzer sounds.
As we see them take the power play off the clock, as that will be the case.
Well, interesting, because there is a man in the box. Mitchell Hirsch, number 12 for Livingston, is in the box. So and it's 5. It is 5-on-5 though. So perhaps the penalty was an unsportsmanlike call. That may have been it. An unsportsmanlike call as it came as the faceoff was coming. So my mistake on that. It's 5-on-5. I would imagine Mitchell Hirsch will be in the box for 10 minutes instead of 2.
We see Warub going to take another one. He loses this one. Hit one of his first losses tonight. The Lancers trying to push it, really want to get rid of this 0 in the second period. Really would like to at least start to mount a comeback against the Cougars here.
It has been a great response by the Cougars after allowing 4 really
as Schindler gets taken down.
Uncharacteristic of the Cougars to allow 4 goals in a period. And they come back by putting a goose egg up, at least for the first 14 minutes.
DiGeronimo with a shot. Unable to put it in the back of the net. DiGeronimo passing it. He loses the puck. DiGeronimo preventing what could have been a potential catastrophe there.
You can't mess around with the blue line like that. DiGeronimo trying to get to fancy Livingston player, pinched up on him, and he nearly had a breakaway, but DiGeronimo able to use his speed to back check.
As a Cougar almost falls there twice. That is Danny D'Angelo, the sophomore, as you see him wiping off his skate. First time he took down a Lancer with him. The second time he almost took down himself. Ethan Ottner to take this face off. As he wins it. The Lancers with the 2-on-1. The Cougars skating back. They cannot center it in time. It's too high. Good defense by the Cougars. Great job preventing that break. However, the Cougars definitely look like they're getting a little too content with this 3-point lead that they have. Almost started to lose it there at the end. Very risky to do that. And they almost paid the price twice with that DiGeronimo turnover and that one at the end.
They did, and certainly that's the big thing Tim Cook will be upset about. You can't be upset about a 3-goal period if you're the Cougars going up 7-4, but a couple of you said catastrophe. I don't know about catastrophe, up by 3, but if both of those do count for Livingston, it's 7-6. So really, going into this 15-minute break as we get the ice clean this time, all the pressure's on Livingston right now. They've gotten all their goals out of their system, perhaps 4 of them in the first 15 minutes of play. They follow it up by doing nothing for the next 15. They haven't scored in almost 20 minutes after a late first period goal. Now, can you find that scoring touch again against Sebastian Burns, who really has rebounded well and hasn't allowed anything in almost 20 minutes? He's been strong in net.
Absolutely, and as a coach, you'd imagine that Cook will not talk much. He will congratulate them on their 3-goal period, as he will again on their 4-goal period that they just kept going on. But it'll definitely, I bet he will definitely stress the necessity of not getting too lax, of not forgetting that this game still has another period and that there's still plenty of time for them to mount a comeback.
Yeah, we know the experience of Coach Cook, former hockey player at the collegiate level, drafted in the NHL. He knows you can't get complacent in hockey. Even against a Livingston team that's winless, you can't get complacent in this game, even if you're up 3 goals against a winless team and you are an undefeated team. You got to play for an entire 60 minutes. You got to play until the buzzer sounds. And until that buzzer sounds, I'm sure Coach Cook will be expecting energy and overall just intense divisional hockey.
And while Coach doesn't have much depth to go on for potentially making a switch if he feels that there's a player that's not giving him the full effort, there definitely is enough depth for that to make that case.
Yeah, there is, but if this game goes according to form, as in the Cougars up by 3 or 4, maybe 5 goals, I won't see a need for that at all unless a player just completely gives up on a play, then maybe you might take him out as punishment. But right now, we're not seeing any of that. They called the timeout after it was 3-2 Livingston late in the first period, and since then, the score has been 5-1 for the Cougars.
The Cougars
so
really having
whatever was going wrong for them, they hopefully for them fixed in that timeout, having scored 5 of the ensuing 6 goals.
Absolutely. We will be back. Thank you very much. Please tune in at 7 o'clock to watch the basketball game between Cougars and Irvington. Thank you very much. And we are back for the beginning of the third and final period of this game as we see the Cougars begin the face-off. The Cougars win the first face-off as they go and push it. I am David Sheffett alongside with Corey Barbarian, who is a freshman. We are giving him his first opportunity here in the booth. He's really excited, and it's nice to let him go in cold turkey and swim with the Sharks.
It's absolutely great. Coming up from the middle school where there aren't any broadcasting opportunities, I heard about this thing called MKA TV. That was certainly a huge thing, carried on a huge legacy. And as a ninth grader, I'm like, wow, I want to go into broadcasting. Why not join MKA TV? And swimming with the Sharks, I mean, this is my first ever game I'm getting to do. And it's a great high school hockey game here at the Clary Anderson Arena. Not often you see it as a freshman. These clubs let freshmen do high school hockey games in big moments here.
As we see the Cougars trying to center it.
It is weird being the new guy, It is weird because even though I know that I'm the most talented member of the MKA TV staff, only being a freshman certainly means you get hazed. And, you get these lower assignments like color for a high school hockey. Yeah, I love it. I love MKA hockey, but I should get a play-by-play assignment sometime.
I'm not sure hazing is the correct word. I'd like to personally rephrase that to
as what?
To
a rite of passage?
Again, not totally sure that's the correct word for the administration's purposes, at least.
Well, for the administration's purposes, but we're not the administration. We're MKTV. We are a cult.
That's
I'm
the right
sure,
mentality.
I'm sure
As
next
we see
month.
Ethan Ottner gets slammed hard against the board.
I'm sure next month he'll give me a play-by-play job for these hockey games.
I'll think
sure.
about it. Depends on how you do.
You'll think about it?
It depends on the rest of your performance.
Well, I'm sure I've been fantastic today. I know I've been fantastic today.
You've certainly been better than me.
I wouldn't say that. Well, actually, I would say that.
Ottner fighting for the puck. The Lancers really not playing as a team here on offense thus far, at least. Very much trying to push the puck up as one person weaving through, and it just is not working through this Cougar defense. David Chen falling down as he was trying to get another goal. His fourth goal of the night. The second period, he's been pretty quiet. This is the first time I've mentioned his name in multiple minutes of broadcasting here.
Yeah, Chen had the first 3 goals of the game, or for MKA at least. The last 4 have gone to other players as Furman goes back to the box for Livingston. Not his first time in the sin bin. And the Cougars go back to a power play. They've scored twice on power play goals so far today.
I would love to see Gaffney 2.0 make a nice play here.
Hey, get back on the scoring column. Warab had 5 goals yesterday. Maybe Chen can get 5 here today. Got plenty of time to reach double digits as the Cougars did yesterday with a 10-2 win.
It's an easy save there for the Cougars. So they begin to run a play. Really looking like they're just trying to hold this lead at this point. They're not doing anything brash or eccentric, really.
They'll still play hard to the final buzzer until 45 minutes have passed.
Absolutely.
The Cougars are certainly playing well on defense, which certainly I'd imagine Tim Cook would say focus on the defense. Allow 4 goals in the first period, allow none in the last 30 minutes of play. Is a nice job by Sullivan sweeping a puck away.
Absolutely, and even towards the end of the first, they started to tighten up on D. It was really just the first 5 or 6 minutes that the defense for really both teams was non-existent, and it was really anyone's goal. As we see another goal, a beautiful pass by Warab to Schindler, an excellent pass to Schindler. I do believe that is Schindler's second goal of the night.
It is.
And
both goals have come on the power play for Brian Schindler. Now 11 markers on the season.
doubling the score of the Lancers. Not quite yet putting this one out of reach, but with 11 minutes left to play, the Lancers definitely have some work to do.
Yeah, and this is Schindler, by the way, who had 6 points yesterday, a goal and 5 assists against Cranford. Already has 2 goals, let alone how many assists Schindler has. That was a great passing play by Warp. He was below the goal line, just going for what they call a tic-tac-toe play, where multiple people touch the puck, and it ends with a pass across and a one-timer. Schindler getting it cross-crease in front, and now Livingston clearing their goalie as the Cougars are going to go to the penalty kill. They touched up here, and for Livingston, they actually had their second-string goalie, Zach Turbin, number 1, for the first 2 periods. They've pulled him and Trevor Zama in the game for this 3rd period, so 7 goals allowed in 30 minutes for Zach Turbin, number 1. Bring their first stringer back in Trevor Zama, who I'm not sure was expecting to play today. So he plays the 3rd period, and the Cougars commit a penalty to start this 3rd period.
Yeah, the Lancers at this point, first and foremost, they need to stop the bleeding. They really need to prevent the Cougars from scoring. They need to tighten up their defense. They need to get back to what they did in the first half, which was matching the Cougars blow for blow, and they need to one-up that and do even better by preventing the Cougars from adding a blow. So we see the Lancers back in their own territory. The Cougars, very defensive here, not pushing it, not really going for the puck, not pushing for net as hard as they were earlier. The Lancers really the ones that are pushing now, and the Cougars just trying to play prevent still. Just keeping this lead is the main priority here, as it should be.
The chance for Livingston to get back on the board is now in the final minute of the power play, but Cougars have certainly defended it well. No shots, or except for one that went off of the chest of Burns.
As we see the Lancers now starting to push it up the right side. They're going to wrap it around. It is stopped by the Cougars. So the Cougars really not allowing anything easy. Really playing very good, solid defense, solid hockey.
It was the first period in some respects to forget, but the 2 periods that have ensued since then have been exactly what we thought the Cougars would do. Come out strong against Livingston and play strong defense. It's a turnover.
David Chen with a beautiful, beautiful steal. He got an excellent turnover. David Chen is not sitting quietly for this one. The Lancers were not expecting it. They've seen the Cougars, at least until the end of this power play very passively, very defensively. David Chen totally flipped the script there, went after the puck. He got it and just, again, had the puck on a string right around the goalie.
Yep, right at the end of a penalty for the Cougars. They have 5 guys on the ice right now, but Ethan Ottner was in the penalty box. So I think the refs just let them have too many men on the ice to start that face-off, as they should have had only 4. Anyway, 4 goals for David Chen today. Looking to match Oscar Warov's total of 5 yesterday, and that could not have been easier of a goal for David Chen. Just a simple forehand, backhand deke. Trevor Zama completely bit on the first move, and all he had to do was pull it back. This time he stops that one. All he had to do was just pull the puck back, and he had half the net wide open, just slid it through past Zama. It wasn't even great hands on the part of Chen. That was a very simple deke. Although
we saw Chen execute that move earlier in this game.
Give Chen credit for the turnover. The turnover was the impressive part of the play. He was 1-on-0, and the deke completely fooled Zama. But Chen with the turnover down low in the slot, Livingston messing around in their own zone on the power play. Can't do that.
We see David Chen there with the check. Robbie DiGeronimo fighting for the puck. Lancers just trying to keep it on the Cougars' side of the ice here. Just attempting to get anything at this point as they're currently down 9-4. This game isn't out of reach just yet, but it's getting there. The Cougars, since the end of the first, have just run this game, both on the scoreboard and on the ice. As the Cougars trying to get it back out of their own territory. Lost something there.
I don't know if that's a paint chipping at center ice, because the paint is certainly peeling from the rafters. You see that there at center ice?
Maybe a paint chip. That's what I said.
We've seen multiple of those. There was one at the face-off circle closer to us on the far side earlier in the first period.
So I figure that could be somewhat hazardous for the players if it is a paint chip.
So the paint is peeling. Let's see if someone collects it here. It's going towards it, and let's see what it is. Yeah, there's no way that's equipment. I don't think that's equipment. That's happened twice. Let's see what he does with it. Yeah, he has no idea what that is. He's inspecting it now. And
I do believe that is a paint chip.
Yeah, that's definitely a paint chip. So, I mean, so you have Ariana Grande skating here a couple days ago. You would think that would, draw more attention to the paint chippings. Maybe not.
As we see the shot off target, it was slightly tipped. The Lancers, again, just desperately pushing it up here.
I just want to see more paint chippings in the last 6.5 minutes. What's going to happen first? Cougars score 10, or we get our third paint chipping of the evening?
Well, we don't know that there has not been another paint chip.
Well, I've seen 2, including that one. I've seen 2.
I've only seen 1, so.
I saw one earlier.
There very well might have been a third that we just missed, because this game has been very exciting. Although the Cougars coming very close to 10 right there.
A nice shot from Alan DiGeronimo, quick trigger.
With 5 minutes and 50 seconds left, as Coach Cook, you got to think this game is almost over, that your team has almost put this game away. Do you start to think about bringing out depth, keep some of your better players off the ice for a little longer, like Schindler and Warup?
No, the only reason why you would do that is to avoid a potential injury, because you're not playing until January 9th. This is the last game you're playing before going on, essentially a 3-week hiatus for the winter break and final season. So I think that's not going to be a priority. If you had a game tomorrow, and this is the second game in 2 days, maybe. But there's no reason to rest any of these guys unless they legitimately are tired from having to play 2 games in 2 days. We might see some of the younger guys on the ice, but I don't think it'll be a huge problem.
It's good to hear.
Well, Max Bach on the ice, number 15. Haven't seen him all day. He's in front of the net.
With 5 minutes left to go, the Lancers continuing to shoot, continuing to push. It looks like this will be a similar result, at least thus far, as the original game with the Cougars winning. However, anything can still happen. There still are 5 minutes left on the clock here.
And in that game,
can't call it just yet.
Exactly, and in that game, it was a 5-1 final. 6 goals in all 45 minutes. We had 8 goals in just the first period today.
And earlier this week, Governor Livingston versus MKA. MKA came back from a 2-0 lead, 2-0 down in the third period. So
1-3-2 and a late goal by who else but Chen. And following up with the game against Cranford 3 days later, that was yesterday night here at Clary, a 10-2 win. So looking to go back-to-back games of double-digit goals, 19-6 over a 2-game span. Even though you allowed 4 goals in the first period, it's better to allow 4 goals in the first than in the third, because that means you clamp down in the final 30-plus minutes of the game.
It means you felt out the situation. You really got a sense for what they were doing, and you adjusted. It means you went with more of a bent in a sense. You
Credit to Sebastian Burns for doing that too.
absolutely. And that's one of the things that the Lancers have been unable to do, such as what you mentioned with the Chen goal recently. He executed that exact move in the first period for his first goal. The Lancers just continuing to try and push, doing the same one player, not passing as much. That's definitely one thing that I was happy to see from the Cougars. They have excellent puck movement throughout the entire game, and there was never really a point where there was one player just trying to play hero ball in a sense.
Yep.
Where the Lancers are definitely falling victim to that here.
Well, if you want to see 10th goal for the Cougars, Munn goes back to the box. Michael Mumm for the Lancers, who opened the scoring in the game for Livingston. So he sits for 2 minutes with 3:59 left in the game. The Cougars, who have struck on 3 power plays. Schindler's got 2 power play goals. See if they can make it 10. Schindler's on the right point here. He's got it here.
And what could have been a costly turnover, the Cougars doing an excellent job defending that to prevent the quick breakout play. Even though they're down 5 goals and there are only 3 minutes left, it's still very important to prevent plays like that from happening. And you can't make those errors in most games. Something you definitely have to watch out for, and I'm sure coaches will stress to them. As we see Schindler skating to the puck.
There's another one. Right circle.
Absolutely. So we have seen our third paint chip.
You know what's weird? I haven't seen them actually fall from the ceiling. I don't know if they have a replay of it.
That does not look like a paint chip. That looks like an armband to me.
Okay, so why are these things always littered?
I have no
on the
idea.
ice?
That one is an armband, though. I can see that one pretty well.
Yeah, that's got some markings on it. So that is.
And it's
some
got
sort
the
of
thinner
equipment.
part.
Yeah,
that's
not a paint chipping.
That is not a paint chip.
But what was the other one then?
That-
Were they all armbands? Do we have the most loose armbands in all of Montclair or something?
It may be. It may be.
And the official
No.
picking it up.
Yeah, the official holding it. That is definitely Velcro.
Yeah, there's
that is
litter
an
on the
armband.
ice.
There is litter on the ice. And that is another goal from far out. Benji Pfeiffer for his second goal tonight, I believe.
Yeah, unless
His
that shot was
third
tipped.
goal on the season. It did not look tipped to me.
Yeah, that's Benji. He's at the front of the handshake line. And well, Benji gets tonight. He's been solid. He's got plenty of speed. He's been gritty and physical on the puck.
Excellent. He's only a freshman, one of these young players that we're definitely excited to see in the years to come.
Yeah, Benji, one of only a couple of freshmen on the team.
Our freshman Corey will get to announce for all 4 years of his career.
Exactly. I cannot wait to see this guy for all 4 of my years coming up at MKA, unless I don't get any more assignments coming up, which I might. Big save. So he talked about getting some of those the lower guys out there, the depth. I mean, Benji's played a fair amount today, but good to see the freshman get on the scoring sheet. And the Cougars have back-to-back 10-goal games for obviously the first time this season. This is the 3rd time they've reached 10 or more goals in a game. They scored 11 against Scotch Plains Fanwood back earlier on December 4th. And scored 10 yesterday here against Cranford.
As you mentioned earlier, they're going into their 3-week hiatus, and that's definitely a high note. That's definitely something you want to go into going on. You know, for when you come back, it's high goals to meet lofty expectations you will face, but definitely a good place to be. Definitely good to go in high rather than low.
Yeah, you can only hope that the Cougars didn't get all of the scoring out of their system here in the last 2 games, including this one. I would imagine you have 3 weeks to rest up. I'm sure look at some film, perhaps some from this game here on MKA TV.
As we see a beautiful hit by Oscar late in the game, he clearly is not done playing. Not that any of the other players are, but that looked like that belonged in the first period. see Allen trying to get inside, maybe score for himself, get himself on the stat sheet. That would be his first goal if he was able to score today and give the Cougars 11.
His brother scored his first goal today.
I'm sure there is some sibling rivalry involved there with 44 seconds left.
Well, Will Michaels and Michael Bronstein, 8 and 16 on the ice, so Tim Cook getting some freshmen, the lower players who don't usually touch the ice, final minute of the game.
As we see a nice hit there by Matthew McCann, the sophomore.
Stick went flying.
A stick did go flying.
That was not a paint chip, and that's going to be a penalty here pretty easily for
the ref
interference.
To spot,
yep.
Given that
this
we
one against the
spotted it
Cougars.
from the rafters.
Yeah, well, I still want to know how many of those so-called paint chippings were actually paint chippings and not armbands. As MK is shorthanded for the last 6 seconds of the game.
Is that 6 or 5?
5.8.
5.8.
I think. No, 5.0. So see if Livingston can score their first goal since the first period, and they won't be able to.
No, they will not. The Cougars will leave here having won by 6, scoring 6 straight goals to win this game. 7. Was it 7
that
or
was
6?
6 straight
it was 6
goals.
Straight goals to win this game. As we will leave here, just remember we are filming the basketball game, MKA versus Irvington at 7. So that is in about 40 minutes. It'll be hopefully a very good game. I'm very excited for it, and I hope you join us then.
Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed my broadcasting debut. You know, it was certainly, I was very nervous. I was, I was shaking when we started the show, and I thought it went very, very well today. If you didn't enjoy my first broadcast ever, then I'm sorry.
This is David Sheffett and Corey Barbarian signing off. Thank you very much.